Hey folks, CA Rachna Ranade here. Sumit Industries is coming up with a rights issue that opens on the 22nd of June and closes on 20th of July. And when it's about a rights issue, there are so many questions which come up to our mind, and that's what we are going to discuss in today's video one by one. But what are these? First, we'll understand what's a right issue. Then we'll understand about the details of the rights issue that Sumit Industries is coming up with. Then we'll understand what does this company do. We'll also understand about the new management of Eagle Group. We'll understand about the financials post acquisition. Then we'll move on with the proceeds utilization of this rights issue. And ultimately, we'll talk about the capex plans. So I'm sure you might have understood that there are so many things to be learned in this video. So keep on watching the video till the end. Now, let's start with what's a rights issue. It's basically like a corporate action when additional shares are offered to the existing shareholders. Now, these shares are typically offered at a discount to the market price, and the objective of this entire rights issue can be raising this money and using this for either expansion, or the company can use this for debt repayment, or it could be for any other business needs. Okay, so now that the basics of rights issue are clear, let's go into the details of rights issue of Sumit Industries. What is the total issue size? It's almost 200 crores. To be specific, it's 199.75 crores, and the rights issue price is 11.86 per share. Okay. Now, what is the ratio of rights entitlement? It's 8 is to 25, meaning any person who has 25 shares of this company is entitled for 8 rights shares. Okay. Now, what happens is we have to understand the key dates because of which you will understand who will be eligible for these right shares. I told you 8 is to 25, but who will be eligible for these right shares? Only a person who has these shares on record date. Now, what is the record date? It's 12th of June 2026. Right? Now, let's take the example of a person who had 25 shares. 8 right shares is what this person will be eligible for. So, ideally, that person's demat account will be first credited with REs, that is right entitlement. Now, this person has 3 possible options. Possibility number 1, the person will actually go ahead and apply for the right shares using these right entitlement. Possibility number 2, the person may say, okay, I would want to sell these rights, or basically I would want to renounce these right entitlement. Is there any trading window for that? Answer is yes. The trading window again for RE's trading will open on 22nd June and will close on 15th of July 2026. Simple. Now you might be like, okay, a person may sell the REs, but who may want to buy these REs? It could be any person who doesn't have the shares of Sumit Industries. That person may want to buy these REs. Okay. And going back to the person who already has the shares, possibility number 3, if the person neither applies for the right shares nor does relinquish the REs, that person will lose out, because after 20th July, if nothing is done, after the window closes for applying for the right shares, if nothing is done, then that person will be at a loss. So either you apply for the right shares or that person could consider trading the REs. With this basic information, now let's understand what does the company do in the next section of the video. Now let's understand what does this company do. So Sumit Industries Limited was incorporated back in 1988, and this company is an integrated polyester manufacturer engaged in the production of PET chips, partially oriented yarn, that is POY, fully drawn yarn, that is FDY, and polyester texturized yarn. And I'm sure you have understood mostly nothing. And I'll be honest, when I read this for the first time, even I was like, what is this all about? It's simple. It's not that hard. So let's understand this in for a layman explainer, right? PET chips, that's how they look like. This is like the raw material. Does this company manufacture PET chips also? Yes. Okay. So this raw material will be basically melted, and it will be spun into something. Into what? Into partially oriented yarn, also known as partially drawn yarn. Okay. So this POY, or a partially drawn yarn, will act as what? It will act as an intermediate product. So raw material clear, intermediate product clear. What is done with this intermediate product now? This intermediate product will now be further processed into fully drawn yarn, that is FDY, and polyester texturized yarn, that is PTY. And these two that I mentioned right now, these will be what? These will be like the final products. Simple till here. So the intermediate product can be drawn into 2 possibilities depending upon the end use requirements. Now, where will these products be used? They can be used either in apparel, or they can be used in home textile, or they could also be used for certain industrial applications as well. Now we have to understand that, okay, these are their products, but where do they make it? Where is their manufacturing facility? That is in Gujarat, in Surat, and they have an installed production capacity of over 1 lakh tons per annum. And everyone knows Surat is like the manufacturing hub for textiles. This location that they have, the manufacturing facility location, this is a very important point for them because it's within a key synthetic textile hub, and that enables them to have a proximity with the customers, also efficient logistics, and also like a JIT or a just in time supply. What they also have as a positive is the end to end manufacturing setup. Why did I say end to end manufacturing setup? Because I told you that raw material PET chips, that is also what they manufacture. The intermediate product is also what they manufacture, and also the final product. And that is the reason why they can have a strong control over the quality, cost, and also the delivery timelines, right? This group, Sumit Industries, this company was actually acquired by Eagle Group in July 2024. And this Eagle Group is a textile focused promoter group which has 4 decades of industry experience. They also have the operational discipline and also have the executional capabilities. Okay, so we understood the products of Sumit Industries. We understood that this was taken over by Eagle Group, but who are the key management personnel of this group? And for that, have a look at this. 3 people that we are going to talk about: Mr. Radhesham Jaju, who is the executive director and chairperson of the company. Now, he has 40 years of experience in the textile industry. He's like the founder and the key driver of Eagle Group's growth. And he has, I mean, 40 years of experience itself says it, but he leads the group level marketing, raw material sourcing, and also the business relationship. He has an experience across nylon, spinning, texturizing, weaving, and so many more things, right? Second key personnel here is Mr. Pratik Jaju. He is the executive director and the managing director. He has an MBA with over 15 years of operating experience, actively involved in day to day operations, and he focuses on operations and also the execution and production, also supports the marketing and operations coordination. And ultimately, talking about Mr. Rohan Deepak Bhai Mode, he is the executive director. He has done his master's in management studies from Stephens Business School, USA. So he is a person from the finance background, has an experience with Corbridge Financials and Raven Black Capital, USA. He has a background in investment banking and project finance, and mainly is responsible for providing financial and strategic advisory support. With all these things clear, in the next section, we'll talk about the financials post acquisition. Now, like I told you, the acquisition happened in July 2024. So, now let's understand how do Sumit Industries financials look post acquisition. And for that, have a look at this. Now, on screen, you can see the entire FY25 numbers, FY26 numbers, the YOY change. And similarly, you can also see Q4 FY25, Q4 FY26 numbers along with the YOY change. But rather than talking only about one quarter, let's focus on the full year figures. You can see that revenue has jumped from 1005.74 crores to 1053.81 crores. That's a 4.78% jump in YOY. Now, talking about EBITDA has gone up from 14.68 crores to 60.77 crores. That's a 313.84% jump in as a year on year figure. And very interesting is the EBITDA margin. EBITDA margin was at 1.46% and it has gone up to 5.77%. That's a 431 basis points jump. So always remember, EBITDA margin higher the better, because that somewhere tells us about the improved efficiency and integration benefits. Talking about one more important point, which is PBT, it was at minus 9.69 crores. That is, the company was at a loss at PBT level, and now FY26 numbers, it's 31.6 crores as a profit. This highlights a turnaround in the core profitability of the company. Well, now that you have understood about the financials, in the next section, we'll talk about the proceeds utilization from the rights issue. Now, let's understand about the rights issue proceeds utilization. Like I told you, 199.75 crores is the rights issue size, and the net proceeds after all the issue related expenses, that will be 194.9 crores. That's what you can see here. By the way, this entire thing has been taken from their investor presentation. I love the way they have presented this, so showing it right just like that, right? So out of this 194 crores, how are they going to utilize this? 100 crores, that is 51%, is going to be used for working capital support. See, a company from the textile space requires good working capital if they want to support higher production, raw material procurement, and also if they want to scale up their business. And that's why 51% of the rights issue is being used for working capital support. We'll talk about this Nakoda asset integration in the later part. Let's first focus on the debt repayment, which is 23 crores. Now, always remember, if debt is repaid, their interest costs will lower, and if interest cost goes down, their profitability will increase, right? And last point is about the by the way, that is 23 crores for debt repayment, and 22 crores will be used for 6.5 megawatt captive solar power plant. Again, for a textile related company, power costs are on a higher side, and if they can invest this money for a solar power plant, what will happen? It will help them to reduce the power cost and also improve their energy security. Now, last point is about this Nakoda asset integration, which is 49.9 crore. Now, what is this all about? And for that, have a look at this. You can see that they have acquired a plant which is called as a CP plant in liquidation from Nakoda Limited. Okay. Now, have they acquired it at 49 crores? No. The total outlay is 90 crores. Out of this 90 crores, 49 crores will be funded from the rights issue, and 41 crores is going to be funded from the internal accruals, right? Now, what is about this plant? What is it going to be utilized for? It's going to be utilized to manufacture bottle grade PET chips. So that is their raw material. They're going to manufacture their raw material with the help of this plant. What is the plant capacity? It's 1,40,000 tons per annum. So will their raw material production uh, can they improve the quantity of their raw material production? Answer is yes, because the plant capacity is at 1,40,000 tons per annum. And if the raw material is available in abundance, can they also increase the intermediate products like POY and FDY? Absolutely yes. That's why they are saying it can support downstream POY and FDY manufacturing operations. Question is, where is this plant located? It is located in Surat in Gujarat, and they are saying that of course we can't use it as is. They'll have to modify it a little bit, and that can be restarted in Q1 of FY 27-28. Now they are doing this big outlay of 90 crores, but will that impact their turnover, their profitability positively? Answer is yes. As per their investor presentation, they say that the expected additional annual turnover is 1,500 crores, expected additional EBITDA is 70 crores, and EBITDA margin on incremental turnover is around 4.7%. So that's what they expect, and that may be the rationale behind acquiring this plant. And they are saying that we'll also have certain strategic advantages with this. This will strengthen their backward integration, they'll have a proximity advantage, their operational efficiency will increase, and also support a long-term growth story. So that's it about the rights issue of this company. In the next section, which is the final section, we'll talk about their capex plans. Now, in their investor presentation, they have also talked about the product mix upgrade and also about their capex plans. Of course, I'm not going to read it one by one, but important points I'll just quickly tell you. So they're launching dope dyed FDY yarn and also bright yarn. They're increasing the yarn conversion capacity to 40 to 50% of current levels, and they're making their infrastructure something like an export ready place where they'll have their in-house lab testing, they'll have automated packaging line, and also dedicated export marketing team. They also scale up completed of catonic yarn production from 2,000 tons per annum to 20,000 tons per annum. Now have a look at this, their capex and their capacity expansions. 30,000 tons per annum capacity expansion planned over the next 3 years. One more point is expected incremental revenue post this capex. They are saying it would be around 300 crores per annum. Phased wise upgradation of machinery. This will improve their efficiency and quality. Also, one important point, the point that I talked about, the solar power plant. They say that the power cost optimization will be through 60% of renewable energy usage. And overall, they are saying that we are focusing on capex, on efficiency, on automation, and long-term cost reduction. Well, whatever data we have taken for their capex plans, or be it about the rights issue utilization, majority of that has been taken from their investor presentation. I've also shown the actual data on screen. The intent is to simplify the so what complicated terms in this investor presentation. This is nowhere close to a buy or a sell recommendation. Whatever investment decision you want to take, that should be done as per your research or as per some registered investment advisor. The intent of my video is to simplify complicated terminologies in such documents. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found a lot of value in today's video as well. If you did, please don't forget to smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye bye. You might have come across such advertisements on various social media platforms. Please note, all of these are fraudsters promising unbelievable returns through stock tips. I don't provide any calls or advisory services. I provide only educational content through my social media handles and through my website rachanaranade.com and rachanaranade.in.